There's no connection. So someone called me up, and it went over really well. So Blind Pig kind of put me on the radar then. And then I was making noise in the mind, and it was like, it was a novel thing. Oh, this is one of the guitars who sing. So he came, Jerry Dudley was on the label, came to a lot of shows, because he lived in Chicago. He's like, yeah, I want to sign you to the label. And I was like, oh.
And was that something you aspired to, like a label deal, and with that label specifically? With
No. I didn't even want to start my own band. So I'll tell that story. So I met the Minds playing with Dion, and I used to open the show. And things went kind of a little south. And he rested in peace, but he got into some substance abuse pretty heavy. And that changed a lot of psychology for him. So he stopped having me open the show. I got a good response in the night. It just things went kind of bad. He ended up playing there a long time, but so the owner was Dr. Arena comes up and goes, I noticed Dion's not letting you open the show. And people like you. So I'll tell you what, I'm giving you your own item today. I'm like, I don't even have a band. He goes, you got 1 month, get a band. Yeah. So he gave me every Tuesday, and then he gave me every Tuesday and Wednesday. So I literally threw a band together and had to get all this repertoire. And then a year later, I'm getting a record deal. But it was, I really feel it was not to take away from the talent, but it was like, oh, this is going to sell like hotcakes. It's a woman playing the guitar. I'm like 27. So that's how that happened. So I'm like, okay, yeah, I'll do a record.
So what was the deal like? Did you get a lawyer to look it over carefully?
Oh, of course.
Nice, yeah. And so your advance was $500,000.
Oh, yeah.
And that's
Okay, so I literally made $275 for the record. We recorded in 2 days. I sang 12 songs in 1 day.
Did you choose the material? Or did
Yeah,
they choose it?
I chose it, and he approved it. I wrote 2 songs and we did a lot of covers. Kind of obscure covers, but we did that. And then literally recorded in 2 days, and that was it. And I sang everything in 1 day. And he said, here's blackberry brandy, drink this, it'll help you get through it. So that was the first recording experience.
Was there more, was it like a multi-record deal? I don't know how that your deal worked. Was it just like they wanted to see how that one went, and then if it went well, they would give you another advance and you would do another record? Or?
They signed me to a 3-record deal.
Okay.
But I had a manager at the time, it was passed. He's like, you're not staying there, you're better than that. So he says, I'm going to get you a lawyer. And he got me a big lawyer out of LA.
To get you out of the 3-record deal with Blind Pig.
And it ended up costing so much money. But he got me out of the deal. And he's like, you're going to get a major label. I know that. Well, I ended up, so I get a call one day. And I had gone to Europe one time. And it was a terrible experience. This promoter, I know I'm not going to think of it. Put us on a train. We didn't have a tour guide ever been to Europe. We slept 2 hours a day, we had a cell phone, it was just rough. So I was like, I'm never going back there again. And I get a call from this guy named Thomas Roof. He's like, well, there was another female guitar player at the time, actually, may she rest in peace, named Kanika Krebs. And she was over there playing in Germany, and she left. He said, she just left, she didn't want to do the touring with us. I was scared already. I don't know about that. And I said, well, if I'm going to Europe, I don't want to be in a train by myself. Oh no, we have a van, we'll pick you up, you'll fly your whole band in. I said, okay. Well, it ended up being a 10-year relationship, and I ended up doing a lot of European releases. So through the whole 90s, I was in Europe most of the time.
So, and your releases never came stateside, or did you, like, how did that work?
What happened was we ended up licensing the Blind Pig. So I ended up with more work. So this whole thing is crazy, but that's what ended up happening. But we controlled the publishing and the mastering and everything. So I did like 3 more records with Blind Pig, but 2 licensed, 2 roof records.
And so was Blind Pig kind of hands-on in terms of how they wanted you to present yourself image-wise? Because they were trying to sell this girl phenom player. Like, give me the dirt.
Well, there's a lot of dirt on me.
I bet.
So I had my first child, I was going to be 25. And I was always a very small person, where I turned into a giant person. I was like gaining 100 pounds. No, not blaming my kid, but somehow my metabolism itself. So the big deal was always like, you gotta lose weight, you gotta do this, you gotta, but they still signed me, but it was still like a big image thing, you know, like you need to wear your hair this way, you need to wear these outfits, so I lost a lot of weight again, like a lot, and I was still being like criticized because I was always a curvy woman, but back in the 90s that wasn't popular. Now people pay for it, you know. Oh, you have hips? Oh, I get hip implants. So I always had hips. And I was going to do a TV show and the guy's like, you can't go out in that shirt jacket, you have hips. So, and then I also had dreadlocks in the 90s. And blind people was like, you can absolutely not wear your hair like that, you're white. And I was like, oh, kiss my ass. So they were mad at me. I was like, no, I'm not cutting my dreads. So it was always being, yeah, kind of ruined.
Which would never happen to a man. It just wouldn't.
You could,
not in that
you
way.
could look any kind of way you want to. That still pisses me off because I mean, there's two guys that are really not attractive, and they're big. And it's like, you know, they're
which is fine.
Which is great. Yeah, you don't have to be.
Right.
Who cares? I don't care. I want to hear the music. But for women, it's a whole other standard.
Completely.
It still is like that.
It is.
Unfortunately,
Absolutely.
like that. I mean, it's a little bit more inclusive of various sizes and whatever, but it's better than it was. But it's still like, yeah, it's hard.
What about your relationship with Kingston Mines? Because that's like the stuff of legends. Consistency, having that steady, regular gig so that your band could be well rehearsed and you could pay them regularly to rehearse, basically. So talk about that relationship with that club.
Well, talk about spirituality. There's some kind of strange karmic connection between me and the Mines. Like I said, the first time I went to Chicago, I ended up across the street. I was pregnant with my son on that stage it's just a good story. So there's two stages. I'm on one stage with Dion. I'm pregnant. I'm like 9 months pregnant. I'm ready to take my time off. And the other side is Junior Wells. And Junior Wells, he knew, he goes, he announced to the crowd it was his child. I want to let you know. I was like, because he was funny. He was just, that was his sense of humor. And all these people came up to me, oh, congratulations, you have a Junior Wells baby. I was like, and then he came up to me, because we finally, at the end of the night, he comes up to me and he's like, I'm this Junior Wells, he's rubbing my stomach. He's like, oh, girl. I said, you're a character. What about you? He goes, you know, I love you, girl. So I'm going to go flash forward my